children of the night. What music they make. They're all gonna laugh at you.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's that?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you a bit.
Hey, welcome to the Hootenanny. That is also known as Fall Guys. How is everybody tonight?
I'm just peachy.
Great.
I like hootenannies.
You know, Jason, I noticed in the opening credits, we need to add Tim on there.
I do. Every time I play that, I look at that and I'm like, this thing is 3 years old and looks like shit. I need to change it. And I just
Or he's like the original Gilligan's Island. He's and the rest.
maybe I'll just put in at the end and Tim, like real quick.
And Tim.
That works.
Well, I have a special announcement to make before we get into anything. This is my book release day today.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Happy book release day, man.
My new book, Misfits, is out, which is the story of Jason Brandt's family. No.
Why
is
am I such a
not
misfit? I am not such a nitwit.
Jack, every time I was, working on this book, and if I had to take like a break, I would just think, nobody wants a Charlie in the box.
It's no use. He's not coming.
So yes, you can go to King Moonrazer, and he's giving out signed copies of this book on his island.
A water pistol that shoots jelly.
But seriously, if you dig grunge music, that whole crappy era that we grew up in, great soundtrack. It was crappy, dude. See, you were too young, Tim. We were coming out of college with no jobs and the prospect of maybe going to war.
I was in my prime.
Grunge
At 8 years
in your
old.
prime.
It's all been downhill from there. So yes, that is now out. It's out everywhere. Hardcover, trade paperback, ebook. I think audiobooks come soon. So very happy about that.
I can't
Congrats.
wait.
I have a question for Jason.
Mm-hmm.
The Final Guys masks, will we get them before or after the vaccine?
Probably after the vaccine at the pace it's going. So the masks are actually available. I just haven't had time to put them on the website yet. So
Ooh.
I don't know how you would find them on Redbubble, but I only have so much goddamn bandwidth and it's very full right now.
That'd be cool. It would be nice. We'll get them. It'll be like the time I got the tattoo of Sam Hain's logo, and then the next day, the company was no more.
Exactly.
I hope that's the problem that we
Yeah,
have.
exactly.
Oh, damn it. The virus was cured. We've got all these useless masks now.
That would
Oh.
suck. I put a lot of time into this shit.
That's all right, because now people won't take it if it comes out during Trump's reign of terror.
Cut a couple of eye holes in it and pull it up, and you could be the final guy Zorro.
Or a thief.
The Dread Pirate final guy.
By the way, tonight we're actually reviewing a movie. It's a Russian movie. I read about this. I get Pravda delivered every day. And I said, oh, Sputnik. This looks good. So this is Sputnik, and it's not the documentary about the satellite. It's actually something else. So I'm looking forward to see what you guys thought about this. Sometimes I feel like me and Jason might be more in line with these kind of movies, but we'll find out.
You think you're smarter than me?
We're trying to
You think
say
you're better
there,
than me?
pal.
Like, yeah, anyone who agrees with me on Mother might agree with me on this. I don't know.
Yeah, they're very similar.
Yeah,
So
practically
who-
the same movie.
Who is going to read the drinking rules tonight?
Well, you're so much smarter than us. Why don't you?
Yeah.
Wow. That's you, Jason.
All right. If you hear any of these words, take a drink. Jack, yours are Watch, Snake, and Doctor. Hunter, yours are 80s, Flashback, and Kid. Mine are Adopt, Mouth, and Critters. And Stud Muffins.
That's
are
me, man.
Yeah.
I'm a
Parasite, Book, and Effects. And the bonus words are Russian, Alien, and Thing. I don't remember ever getting a cutesy little name about me in the drinking words. I'm just saying.
No, none of us.
Well,
This-
somebody's got hair like a chick, so
Mm.
It's luscious.
Oh, you think he's hitting on Tim?
I don't know. They call him Stud Muffin. I'm confused. I don't know.
I'm okay with it.
I'll allow it.
It's fair.
And by the way, welcome to the show, Joshua and Marcella. We hope you contribute to the chat. Make us laugh. Try to throw us off our game. That's what Sober and Silly tries to do.
Won't be hard.
No. So
I do try to
Jack-
throw you guys off by flashing up the funny shit in the chat, and it always
Yeah.
cracks me up.
That's,
Watching you try not to read it.
I know. It's tough. All right, Jack. You're our news anchor. What's going on in the horror
Put
world?
your seatbelts on because this is going to go fast.
All right.
All right. There is some weird obsession with the movie Dog Soldiers amongst our little Twitter community. Thanks to Janine Pipe
Mhm.
and the like. We did a
Keeps
show about
piping up about it.
pipe down. We we did a show about werewolves on Monster Men a couple weeks ago. We mentioned it, and I think you guys might be doing her video podcast thing about werewolves sometimes. But she loves this movie, so she sent us. I thank you. She sent us some news. Dog Soldiers, which is a pretty good werewolf movie, is getting a 4K release in the UK, so she's all set. I would imagine it's going to get to the States eventually, but if you're a Dog Soldiers person and you got a 4K TV, it's time to howl at the moon.
Bark
See the
at the
guts fall
moon.
out in glorious 4K.
I love
Do
that
you
movie.
Do you guys have a 4K player?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Mhm.
I
love it.
What a shock.
Love it.
I just keep refusing to keep buying movies over and over again. At this point, I'm going to go back to VHS.
Yeah, it does suck, but most of the Blu-rays now are like 4K and Blu-ray, so I don't feel like as bad.
True.
I'm not going back and buying a ton of stuff I already have, but I think everything I've bought so far is something I already owned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
my 4K
my-
collection's small.
But
Yeah.
I was like, I got the TV. I might as well just get the Blu-ray player, and it makes your regular Blu-rays, I think, look a little bit better. But I don't know that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I've only got like 10 movies and 4 of them are the Wishmaster movies, so
Well, I'm sure that's what the 4K folks exactly wanted to hear. So glad we did this for you guys.
I would pay for Wishmaster 4 and 4K.
I'm just surprised they actually made a 4K of it. Like that's not a movie you would think deserves a 4K.
Wait,
for
you're
the
not
minus-
joking? You actually have it in 4K?
I think it's in 4K.
No way. You're telling me what? They remastered that shit in
It
4K?
might just be Blu-ray.
This
I might
could be
like
the
it.
big news of the night.
I can't tell, and I'm too lazy.
It's probably
to
a
get up.
minus 2K.
Yeah,
That will blow my mind.
might be a 2K scan and might be a 2K scan. On.
All right.
We'll go with that.
Well, the second piece of news follows right into what I was just saying, because there's another 4K box set that was supposed to come out before Halloween, but it just got pushed to after Halloween, November 16th. And I already have a box set of this movie, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting it again because it's 1978 Dawn of the Dead.
Why
Nice.
would they push it to November?
Because I think pressing the Blu-rays has been delayed because of the virus.
I don't want to hear that excuse anymore. Put a mask on and get your shit done.
There
Lord.
is a ton of extras on this thing. I think the box set's like $100, so I might ask her for Christmas.
Yeah. Santa, please.
But if you look it up, there's a ton. You can get it for there's some. The site you can get it through is Zavvi, Zavvi. You can't get it on Amazon at the moment.
That sounds like a Serbian.
Yeah,
Shell
like
company.
I kind of looked at it. Was like, I think I need to hear about people getting it in the mail successfully before I pull
Yeah.
the trigger on that. However, the box set I have of Dawn of the Dead now has like 3 different cuts, maybe 4 of the movie, including an extended one that I watched a couple of months ago.
Right.
So I don't know how much of a difference I'm going to see on a 4K Blu-ray versus what I have, but it's all the extras that I kind of am interested in. So I'm thrilled about this. I don't
Like
know what
you and
guys
I
think.
saw it on the big screen when the film itself was brand new. Like probably can't get any better than that experience.
I'd be curious to see what it looks like in 4K, because some older movies I don't see much of a difference, and then some I do, and I don't know if that's just the process they're going through. I don't know, but I'd be curious. We'll see.
It's Dawn of the Dead. I'll watch it any way you give it to me.
Look, the first thing I bought with this TV was the Jaws 4K. I already have the Jaws remastered Blu-ray. I've got 15 different VCR DVDs. Dawn of the Dead is one of those movies. I'm gonna keep looking at it, and then one day I'm just gonna be like, I just gotta get this over with. Maybe when I
Yeah.
see it, there'll be like a 15% off sale, and I'll hit it then.
I mean, my copy is like a DVD, like the first DVD that they made of it, and it's kind of gritty, and I kind of like that. I like my horror movies gritty. I don't like them perfect,
Hmm.
unless they star Jennifer Aniston.
You're just cheap. You're just cheap and don't want to buy it.
That's accurate.
Yeah, sure. You're right.
All right, like I said, that's all the news. So
That was quick.
yeah, there's nothing going on.
No, it's a weird year. All right, we're going to take a 3-second break, and then we're going to talk about the crap we watch.
We have such sights to show you.
All right, Jason. I remember last time I was doing the show, I made Tim go up first, but you're our true leadoff hitter. So I'm going back to you.
Okay. Well, I decided to start a new series, and now I can't find the tab. So I'm just not going to bring it up while I talk about it. It is Critters.
Oh,
Ooh,
good one.
fun.
This is one that I've only ever seen the first film. So, and I remembered liking it, but it's been 20 plus years since I've watched it. So I was looking forward to going back to it, but I've never seen any of the other ones. And goddamn, I forgot how much fun this movie is. Like, I knew I liked it, but it is really, really well made. It
Yeah.
kind of surprised me. So then I was looking at who all's in it. First of all, everyone's 80s horror mom, Dee Wallace, is one of the stars, and she's so freaking good. But I'm watching the just the way it's shot and everything, and I'm thinking this movie it looks good, it moves well, it doesn't look like a shitty horror movie named Critters from the 80s. So I looked up the director, whose name I didn't know, Stephen Herrick, I guess is his name.
Yeah.
Dude's done a couple things in his day. I mean, Bill and Ted, The Mighty Ducks, The Three Musketeers, Mr. Holland's Opus, 101 Dalmatians. I mean, this dude was like a big time director, and he did Critters. So
Is that the Kiefer Sutherland Three Musketeers?
yes,
Oh,
He
yeah.
was also a co-producer on MacGyver. I think that should be his number one credit right there.
Absolutely.
So this is a film about some little furballs that come to Earth on a spaceship and eat shit, and some bounty hunters who can look like anybody come from space and start hunting it. And the critters go to this farmhouse where a family has to hole up and try to survive. And then the subplot of these bounty hunters going through this town with space cannons and shit, trying to find the critters. And it works super well. The humor is great. Its pacing is great. The acting, I mean, Dee Wallace is a goddamn national treasure. I wish we saw her in horror stuff still. We don't, at least that I know of.
she was in that Christmas horror movie.
Red Christmas.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Brutal.
She's so good. She's so if you haven't seen Critters in a while, 100% worth going back to. This just blew me away. I was expecting it to be okay. And, it's not high art, but it's not supposed to be. And it works. And after reading all the stuff the director had gone on to do, you can totally see it in this. The guy knows how to direct a film.
It's no Ghoulies.
This
Or
is
Munchies.
a smidge better than Ghoulies.
Not much is, though.
No,
That's true.
really. Thank God.
Ghoulies 4 is one of the greatest films I've ever seen.
And by greatest, you mean
Yes, the greatest.
yes, greatest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Total
He's yet-
total pile of garbage.
yeah. You get to watch Let My Puppets Come.
I'm very excited, dude. It sounds like they are in the movie.
Change your outlook on life.
Oh, jeez.
All right, there, you big, handsome hunk of, I don't know, whatever you are. Man meat?
You're talking to Jack, right?
Yeah, totally. Not you.
Yeah.
What's up, Jack? What did you watch?
Yeah. You got that right. All right. Well, let's talk about werewolves. I watched a werewolf movie that's just a couple of years old called Howl. That I've had the thumbnail in my queue for a million years, but because we just were talking werewolves, I was like, let me get this one. I just watched Curse of the Werewolf. Like, let me get a couple of these under my belt.
I need to correct you. It's werewolf.
Werewolf.
Yeah, really.
Wolf Cop. So Howl. It's not Thurston Howell the third. It's Howl as in Howl at the Moon.
Well, right.
money. So
Oh.
this train leaves like London to go somewhere, and they're going through this stretch of woods, and they have to stop the train because like a deer runs out or something. So they're broken down on the tracks. There's a full moon, and there's a werewolf outside the train stalking everybody. It's a decent little werewolf movie that's on Prime, so it's worth checking out. I think if this was one of those ones that we rented and paid $7 to watch it, we'd be like, oh, I wish I had just saw that on Shudder or something. So it's there, and there's so few good werewolf movies. This one's a fun one. I felt like they could have upped the humor a little bit in this one, and it would have helped it. But it was I was enjoyed for the night. And like I said, there's so many terrible werewolf movies that this was actually pretty good. There's kind of like a Salem's Lottie thing they do with the werewolves, with their eyes and stuff. That's kind of cool. So it's definitely worth checking out. I'm sure you guys have seen this movie.
I watched it early in the coronavirus pandemic. I thought it was cool. It was the werewolves were cool.
Yeah,
they were vicious.
I liked it. Saw it. What would it come out? What did that say? 5 years ago, something like that. It's probably when I saw it. I had fun with it. And it's like you said, werewolf movies suck. So anytime I get one that is like a 6 out of 10, hell, a 5 out of 10, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, and this was like a solid 6. I'd give it a 6.
Yeah.
I was in a mood for a good werewolf movie a couple months back, and instead I watched Project Metal Beast, which was not a good idea.
That's on our So Bad It's Good list. I've never seen it the whole way through.
Oh man, that is a special movie.
Kane Hodder is the werewolf.
Yeah.
Like a big werewolf.
I have a shitty VHS copy of it. I'm trying to find a better DVD, but I don't know if it was ever released.
You should probably it's on, I think it's on Prime.
Oh, well, that makes it easy.
I think it is on Prime because I watched it on it. I don't know if it's still on Prime, but it was at the time. But if not, just watch it on VHS. That's probably an awesome experience to watch it on that.
if it works.
Yeah.
I would say this: if you're going to get the 4K and you're trying to decide between Dog Soldiers and Howl, I'd get the 4K of Dog Soldiers.
Of Project Metal
But
Beast.
have you already seen? Yeah, had you already seen Dog Soldiers, which you should have. Howl's like that good. What's another werewolf movie? There it is. You're welcome.
Bad Moon.
Late phases.
Where is pretty good.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
The Howling 3.
Howling 7 is the greatest film ever made.
You're creating quite the list of greatest movies.
If you watch Goonies 4 and Howling 7 back to back, you will kill yourself.
Goonies?
Ghoulies.
Oh, Ghoulies. I thought you said Goonies. I'm like,
they made more Goonies?
They made more Goonies movies? Where were these?
I may have. Just talking about those two movies in the same sentence.
I think you got worked up a little too much.
I'll bring it down.
Speaking of worked up, Tim, I'm all worked up. I want to hear what you watched.
I watched a little movie called We Summon the Darkness. Heard of it?
Yes.
Sweet Alexandra Daddario.
We did.
Yes, Daddario. She's amazing. And this movie I thought was actually pretty good. I have some issues with it, mostly that Johnny Knoxville's in it, and he's a terrible actor, and he should have just stuck to Jackass because he can't act
Didn't
his
you?
way out
Didn't
of
you
a
wait for him
paper
to get kicked in the balls with something?
I waited for it. He was pretty much useless in that whole movie anyway.
They limited him.
Yeah, but it's basically about these 3 girls who are following this metal band around. They go to a metal concert and they meet 3 guys, and they all head back to the to Alexandra Daddario's place. And some crazy stuff happens. And I didn't know anything about this movie going into it. I just, I saw the cover. It looked metal. I like metal. I like horror. Thought I'd just go into it blind. And I think because I did that and I knew nothing about it, it actually made for a better experience because there's like a twist that happens pretty early on, like at the end of the first act. That I kind of didn't see coming. And I don't know. It was an interesting movie. I think this trailer gives away a little too much though.
As they all do.
But I don't know. I recommend it. I think it's on Netflix. I watched it.
It is on Netflix.
I watched it on Netflix. So I say check it out. It's worth your time.
Yeah, I liked it because I got the nostalgia feels.
Yeah,
it was solid.
Yeah, it wasn't like anything like groundbreaking or anything. And like I said, I had some like minor issues with just, the script kind of got a little silly in parts, but it was entertaining.
It's
And
funny. There are parts it's really
yeah, it was. There was a lot of comedic relief in it that worked really well, I thought.
I liked it a lot. I just felt like, I think I said this when we did it on the show. I felt like the movie hit the brakes when it should have hit the gas.
Yep.
And if they
Yeah.
kicked it up a notch, it would have been like an all-time movie. But instead, they kind of held back a little bit. Like Johnny Knoxville's wasted in that, and there's the whole climax could have been insane.
Yeah, not like drunk
wasted.
wasted.
What?
I said he's wasted in it, but not like drunk wasted. Like
No. I think if they had Wee Man, that would have been way better.
Oh, totally.
Like I would have bought that. I was in Wee Man's taco place in California years ago, and he was there.
That's weird.
I'm like, man, I'm eating tacos with Wee Man in Wee Man's place, and he had like a skateboard park outside the fast food joint. It's kind of cool.
That's interesting.
All right.
And I punched him in the head and walked out. Okay, I watched because it's on Shudder. I watched Sleepaway Camp 3, which I had actually never seen. Look, we all like part 1. 2 is actually really good.
It is. It's shocking.
So I was like, well, let's see how 3 holds up. Well, 3 takes place a year after part 2, and Angela is back, but this time she has murked some like Spanish girl somewhere in Harlem to take her place wearing a bad wig.
Is this the one with the garbage truck at the beginning?
Yes. That's it. I do like the fact that Pamela Springsteen, Bruce's sister, comes back as Angela.
Yep.
She's bananas. This movie's fun too. I mean, look, these are not breaking any great ground or anything. They're kind of amusing. The guy that's on the camera now that they just showed, I forget his name, Pollard.
Michael Pollard. Sex scene.
Let me tell you. First of all, Michael Pollard's been in some pretty big movies in his lifetime. You're like, wow, what has gone on? Why did he do this? And then you see him having a sex scene with this very buxom girl. And you're like, oh, that he probably said, don't even pay me.
Seriously.
Just, can I do this? And it's disturbing. And nobody seems to care. Even the cop doesn't care when they talk about, oh, yeah, this dude is sleeping with one of the teenage girls. Like, nobody cares.
Yeah, who apparently is a playmate.
So 80s. But, there's a lot of killing. Angela doesn't waste any time killing anybody. Well, you fart in her general direction, and you're pretty much done. And
yeah, she's particularly unhinged in the third movie.
Yeah, like in the beginning, I thought, oh, maybe she seems to be, but no, she wasted zero time.
Yeah, I think I said this again when I saw these. These are like the jackpot video store rentals where you were like, I just need a silly movie with a lot of good kills. And this one will not bore you. It just doesn't take itself seriously. And it's got great kills. And you're just laughing at like, what are they doing?
And a shit ton of people to kill.
Yeah.
Like they break up into these groups of 4 and 5, and she just keeps going from group to group and going, oh, they told me to come and be with your group.
Yeah.
What? So it's a fun watch. I think if you're gonna have like Horrortober, you're gonna have like a fun night. I think you should do all 3. I think
it's seriously
a decent night.
It's a solid trio of films. I was not expecting anything out of this. Now, once you go beyond 3,
don't go beyond 3. There's no reason to, and we're telling you now.
Call it right there.
Yeah, just stop here. Hard stop. All right, man.
Well, after Critters, I had to watch Critters 2.
Yes.
I did not know Mick Garris directed this film.
This was like his first movie, I think, right?
Close to
possibly.
it.
I didn't know it was written by David Twohy either, if I'm saying his name right, but he's gone on to do a few things. And this is not a bad film. Looks like it was his first feature.
Yeah, after Amazing Stories. Wow.
This isn't a bad film, but it's a complete tonal shift from the first one. It reminded me very much of Gremlins to Gremlins 2. So if you like Gremlins 2, you like the kind of Three Stooges take on Gremlins, and in this case Critters, then you're probably going to really like this. But if you like more of the I don't want to say serious tone, but kind of serious tone with a lot of humor of the first one, of Gremlins, of Critters, then this is a pretty serious step back, and this was a definite step back for me. This movie was just goofy. It wasn't really a horror movie at all. It was just like a comedy with a bunch of blood in it, if that makes sense.
It's funny. This is everyone considers this their favorite.
I don't really think the two are close. I think there's fun stuff in two. Like they all get together and form this giant critter ball that rolls around and destroys things. Cool idea. It looks like something that should have been out of the Three Stooges instead of the first Critters film.
Did you see the guys pushing the critter ball in the back?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, if you slow it down enough, you can see the makeup guys just pushing the critter ball.
That doesn't surprise me. I think it did not help that I watched these back to back. If there had been a 3-year gap like there was between the releasing of both films, I wonder if I would have liked it more because I wouldn't have been so used to the tone of the first one. I mean, I watched it the next day. So it's good. It's not great, but I vastly prefer the first just because tonally and the humor and everything, the first one is more my style. But like I said, if you're a Gremlins 2 guy, this is your film for sure. If you're a Gremlins 1 guy, then you like the first.
Direct correlations.
You like that?
I forget. Are there any hot critters?
No.
There's a hot gremlin.
There's the one bounty hunter turns into a playmate at one point, so she walks around naked.
That's right.
For about
Yes.
30 seconds. So that's solid.
I remember that.
Yeah, and then I don't remember. No, there weren't any hot critters or anything, and just so much stuff is like not explained, like where all these critters came from in the first place. You see like 6 eggs at the beginning of the film, and then there's 9,000 of these things like the next day, and they all get blown up. But instead of being dead, they come out in a giant ball of critters. Like, what the hell? I don't know. But it looks cool looking. So,
yeah, you could do far worse than Critters 2 in your life.
Have you seen this, Tim? I feel like this is a Tim movie.
I have, but it's been so long. I watched them when I was like a kid, I think, and I don't think I've revisited them since then. I watched one of the. Didn't they come out with one a couple years ago?
Yes.
I think it was Shudder exclusive, if I'm not mistaken. I think I watched that one. But I don't remember like any of them.
Wow.
You're a Mick Garris guy, aren't you? You like?
I do. I like him. I like his King adaptations, most of them.
Well, you might like this. We'll see.
Why do we have to keep bringing that up?
He likes to jab us with it.
I know he does. I think you were instigating.
Trying to pick a fight.
Well, you're not going to get it tonight.
No.
I'm too happy.
Damn.
All right, Jack.
Next week.
All right. I heard about a 1977 TV horror movie that I'd never seen before. I'd seen the thumbnail a million times on Amazon, but then I was reading some article and they were talking about this movie called Dead of Night. It's a 3-part anthology. And the reason I actually hit play on it was because I found out that Richard Matheson basically wrote all of the episodes and Dan Curtis directed it. Dan Curtis of Dark Shadows and The Night Stalker and other stuff. And Matheson adapted one of the first ones, but I think he wrote the other two. And this is clearly going for, number one, there's a intro at the beginning that's very Twilight Zone-y. I think they were going to try to make the Dead of Night kind of like the Twilight Zone. And then it goes into this 3-part anthology that was clearly trying to do the what's the Trilogy of Terror kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is Ed Begley Jr. restores this old car, and then when he goes to take it for a ride, he's transported in time back to when the car was brand new. Then he ends up coming back in time, and things that happened while he changes the future. Very like Amazing Stories, wannabe Spielberg thing, and not horror at all. So you're kind of like, all right, this is why I don't like anthologies a lot, because they're so uneven. So you get through that one. Then the second one is a vampire story with Patrick McNee from the Avengers.
Oh, wow.
And there's a twist to it. It is not the most well executed story. And the twist at the end, they kind of telegraph it. So it's a little anticlimactic, but it's still fun, and it's very reminiscent of those kinds of Twilight Zone-y type things. And so it was pretty good. I had a good time with it. Then the third one is kind of the one everybody talks about. It's this mother, her son has just drowned, and she kind of monkey paws a wish to get her son to return, but then things go south on her, and there's a closing shot, which is kind of like the cover of the DVD. That's kind of like the trilogy of terror kind of thing. That's the episode that really elevates this thing. So it's kind of uneven, but if you're looking to like check out something that Matheson wrote and something that's got a little bit of a cult following, it's worth checking out. But it's not the greatest thing I'll ever see, but it was definitely interesting to watch. So I had a good time with it.
The name is familiar. I just can't remember if I ever saw it.
I thought I'd seen it till you described all those stories, and I definitely don't know any of those.
Man, I consider myself an Ed Begley Jr. completist.
Wasn't there another movie called Dead of Night? Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Probably.
The Edge of Night.
Yeah,
That's pre-show talk, ladies and gentlemen.
I've been on a little run with doing Dark Knight of the Scarecrow and some other stuff. I was like, I gotta get some of these 70s made-for-TV horror movies in.
Get Gargoyles in next.
I watched Gargoyles. You weren't here that week. I was pissed off you weren't here. Dude, it's on Tubi TV.
Is it?
Yeah, you should definitely. It was, what's his name? Bernie. He plays the main gargoyle. I gotta look up his name.
Bernie Capel?
Bernie Casey.
Bernie Capel. Isn't that Doc from The Love Boat?
Yes. You know who else is in Gargoyles? Is Scott Glenn.
Scott Glenn is amazing.
Young Scott Glenn.
Young Scott Glenn. That's awesome.
Did he look like a skinny piece of beef jerky then? I can't remember him young.
He's not so jerky in that.
Not so jerky. And he's not salted. Just salty. All right, Tim, what you got?
I've got a little movie called Dude Bro Party Massacre 3.
That was on like Showtime every minute of the day at one point.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
Oh God, you guys have to watch this movie. It is amazing. So first off, it's like, but it's basically about a kid who infiltrates a fraternity and investigates this serial killer known as Motherface, and it's just outrageous. And there's like a bunch of great cameos in it, like Patton Oswalt's in it, just Larry King's in it, just like all these like weird
Larry King.
Yeah, like just weird.
Was that the dude from The Room? What the hell?
I don't know, maybe there's also like a bunch of like no-name actors and actresses in it, but it's really fun. I think it's hilarious, and you should watch it.
Wow.
Is there a part 1 and a part 2? Or
no, it's just 3? Like, yeah, they just started with 3. It's kind of like a joke because they like reference like part 1 and part 2, but there's no part 1, part 2.
Thanksgiving 1 and 3.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and it's actually funny because usually I find these movies that try to be so bad they're good just to be bad.
It's the humor in it's a little it is like that. It tries to be stupid, but it does it in a good way, and it's like my type of humor. It's like stupid humor. So I don't know, the guys who made it, their company's named 5 Seconds Film. I don't know if you've ever seen any of their stuff on the internet. No,
not that I know of.
But
the Killer Donuts.
There's maybe
Donuts movie or something like that. I remember watching one day.
No, but I don't know. It's definitely worth a watch. It's short. It's only like an hour, and if it's an hour and a half, it's long. It might even be like an hour and 15 minutes or something.
I like where this is going.
But yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. I get a chuckle out of it. So.
And that is Greg Sestero, star of The Room, and the man who wrote the book, The Disaster Artist, that became a movie a couple years ago. So they got him to do a cameo. So I'm gonna check it out because that dude is amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely worth watching. Andrew WK is in it. I mean, if that doesn't sell you,
Andrew WK,
I don't know what.
Hard.
Holy shit! I didn't know that guy was still around.
Yeah, I thought he was dead too. So this comes as a surprise.
What a career.
Nice.
All right. I watched a movie called Madhouse, not to be confused with 77 other movies called Madhouse.
Yeah.
The reason, when I was working from home for months, this was like Shudder. They had their Shudder TV. this was on every freaking time I turned on the damn thing. I was like, Jesus. But I would catch snippets and I was working, so I wasn't really paying attention. So I said, you know what? It actually looks competently made, so let me watch this finally. It's about a woman who she teaches deaf kids, and she has a twin sister who's been in a mental home forever because she's supposedly crazy and just tried to kill her sister or insinuate she was going to try to kill her. I don't know. They don't make it very clear. So the twin sister is dying of some skin disease. I don't know. Eczema? Can you kill you? I don't know. So their uncle, who is a priest, is encouraging her, come see your sister. She's not doing well. She does. Sister grabs her wrist. She runs out going, I told you I can't be around her. I was like, dude, she just grabbed your wrist. But anyway, crazy sister escapes and then spends her time killing as many people as she can inside normal sister's apartment building. When every time she's trying to tell people that it's my sister and everything, the uncle priest is always like, no, you make this shit up. I'm like, oh, I don't trust that dude. The best part is she's sitting in church with her favorite deaf student, and he's giving a sermon about how evil people are who like cast aside their family members. I'm like, I think this is a sign. It's actually a cool movie. I found out it's an American Italian movie, and it was classified as a video nasty.
Really?
I cannot anything to make it a video nasty, but that goes for like 80% of them that got that category.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, nothing here. So there wasn't even like, the priest didn't touch anybody, so I don't know where the nasty part came from.
It's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, but it's actually a pretty good movie. I mean, I wouldn't tell somebody to run out and watch it, but if you're tooling through Shudder, keep it on.
I think it's on my list actually because I saw how old it was and I was like, I don't even know what the hell this is.
Yeah, I had never heard of it.
Isn't there a
And it's
Vincent Price movie called Madhouse?
That's from the 70s. Seriously, there's like a bunch of movies called Madhouse.
Yeah, don't ever name a book Madhouse. It will definitely get lost in the shuffle.
Called Madhouse. All right, Jason. Do we have another Critters movie with you? Or
No, I only did two. I didn't. I spent more time reading this week, trying to be an educated man.
He was reading and not getting the masks done.
That's really what it was.
Jeez.
I know. It's like, you sons of bitches. I read If It Bleeds by Stephen King. I finally got around to finishing it, which is 4 novellas, which ends up making for a very long book. A very, very long book. I don't know. I've talked about this a million times. I don't know what the hell it is about this dude's writing that some of the stories, like particularly the last story, not much happens. Barely anything happens at all. And he's writing all these extra details that if any other author were doing it, I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, what am I reading? But it's just something with the way this dude writes that keeps me reading the goddamn story. I don't know what it is. It's like some weird magic he has. Because after the story ended, I'm like, that was it? I actually like that, but
it's so funny
happened.
you mentioned that because I just finished rereading his on writing for like the 5th time, and like he's telling you not to do that.
Yeah, don't use too many details, and that's all he does, and it totally works. There's only one of these stories that at the end I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, I didn't care for it, but the other 3 I thought were really good. 2 in particular were, I mean, it's King. The guy, even at his worst, still pretty goddamn good.
I agree. I read that earlier this year too, and I think I know which story you're talking about. Was that the one with like the Chuck story?
Yes.
Yeah, that one I didn't understand at all.
I didn't either. I didn't get it.
Weird. But yeah, you're right. The other 3 are pretty good. I think the Mr. Harrigan's Phone, I think it's called. I think that's my favorite out of those 3.
I think it's the first one.
Yeah.
Well, now the library's open. I can go in there and get it.
Yeah, go get it, man.
I mean, the
just
last
picked up
story.
a Survivor song today, so psyched.
The last story is a dude in a cabin writing a book.
Yeah,
a storm hits,
and a rat, right?
Yeah, that like nothing happens in the story, and I was just like, yeah, this is pretty good.
Yeah,
like if I tried to write it'd be the biggest pile of shit ever. No one would want to read it.
All of the stories in that book are being adapted into movies.
Of course.
Well, that second one, I would love to see how they do that in a film because I didn't follow it in literary form.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good
Flanagan.
stuff. It's very expensive, so if you can get it at a library, I would recommend it because King's books are always ludicrously overpriced. But good
He
stuff.
makes millions of dollars just from library purchases. Like, he doesn't even need anybody else to buy it.
Nope.
Like, done
It's
right
true.
there. All right, Jack. What'd you read?
I read the description of this movie and said, I'm going to watch that.
Well played.
Hunter, first of all, last week I watched a documentary called Making Apes about the makeup effects for Planet of the Apes that you would love.
Is that on Amazon?
Yes. So you should
yes.
watch that. But you should watch this one first because I watched Ray Harryhausen Special Effects Titan.
Oh.
Documentary on Prime. And this is just so good. If you are too young to really know Ray Harryhausen movies, he did Clash of the Titans. He's done all the Voyage of Sinbads and all that kind of stuff. All the stop motion monsters from, I don't know, when did he get started? The 50s?
50s. I think it was the 50s.
And you watch this and John Landis, Steven Spielberg, everybody. Who's the guy who did Avatar?
Cameron.
James Cameron. The list goes on. All these heavy hitters, and they're all just like Peter Jackson. And they're all just like, oh, Ray Harryhausen. The reason I'm in this business is because of him. He inspired me. And they show you the painstaking lengths this guy went, like with multiple screens and stop motion with a film of a city and then another screen in front of it and the model between the two so he could capture. And this stuff would take months to shoot. And just the you won't even know the names of some of these movies that you'd be like, oh, I've seen that before. Flying saucers, dinosaurs, skeletons.
Yeah.
And then they,
monsters,
yeah. When they do Medusa from
Clash of
Titans.
the
Mhm.
So great. So even if like you're young enough not to really have seen a lot of his movies, number one, this is kind of a shortcut. It's the Cliff Notes. You could just see a lot of it, and it might whet your appetite. But if you're into filmmaking, this is kind of a great place to see where it started. What are some of the things to take into consideration? And then when they get to the end, they start talking about CG and the relationship between practical effects and all that. And I don't think you just have to be somebody who grew up watching it to appreciate this. However, if you are, you're just going to fall back into your comfort zone and nostalgia. It's so good. So for guys like us, this and the Planet of the Apes one, I hit the jackpot on both of these 2 weeks in a row. Very happy.
I might call in sick tomorrow.
You should.
Wait. Anyone at work listening?
I thought about you the whole time I was watching this. I'm like, oh, you're going to go crazy when you watch this movie.
I remember he did work on Mighty Joe Young, which even
We'll
when you
talk about
watch
that.
that, it's a tour de force in special
He
effects.
did work on Mighty Joe Young?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I
They
didn't
show
know that.
that. They show that.
That's an amazing. The work he did on that's crazy.
I'm curious what people under the age of, say, 30, if they watch that, they must just think it's the dumbest looking shit ever. But when you saw it when you were a kid and that was the only thing you saw, it's like, oh my God.
Like sword fighting those skeletons, you think the work that went into that?
So
Oh my God.
they show that. So they had like the actors, and then they had these like other guys, like stuntmen, and they rehearsed it like 3 times. Then the 4th time, the actors just fought against nothing,
Mhm.
and they filmed that, and then they animate the skeletons in where the other guys were. It's amazing.
That's
Wow.
crazy stuff. I can't wait to watch it.
That's cool.
All right, Tim, did you read?
I
know you're-
I am a big reader, and I like to do a book a week on this show, and so I'm going to. But I didn't read it. I listened to it with my ear holes.
All right, I was just gonna thought you say I read the back flap.
Yeah,
I read someone else's review.
No, I listened to it. It's a little book called The Dark by Jason Brandt. Which you guys may know from this podcast. I really enjoyed this one, man. I had a lot of fun with it. It's the premise is simple. It's basically a
So it's
giant
Jason.
what?
You said the premise is simple. I said so is Jason.
It's true.
Jesus. That's mean, man. No, it's a very simple premise. So like the power goes out and like this dark entity pretty much absorbs the city, and basically these people are just kind of trapped inside, and they have to try to find a way out. And it was really good. I actually there were some parts that were actually kind of creepy, especially with the people when they get to see their relatives and they're coming back, and the narrator you got to do that was really good, by the way. They had like these effects that he did when he did some of the voices.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that was really good. Because
No,
not
Bob Martinez, yeah, good narrator.
not I do listen to a lot of audiobooks, and not too many of them do stuff like that, just a little effect. It wasn't often, which worked because it kind of came out of nowhere, and it was really effective. So yeah, man, I really enjoyed it. So I got to
Cool.
get more
Thank you.
brand audiobooks.
Well, I haven't gone back to that book in a long time. It's one of the first novels I wrote, so I'm always like, is it crap?
Nah, man.
I didn't read it long ago. That is awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty honest, and I wouldn't like review stuff that I don't like. So, but I really enjoyed this one. So
Yeah, shout out to Bob Martinez. I've only used 2 narrators so far, Bob and Wayne June. So, and Wayne is famous audio guy now, so I always like to give Bob a shout out if I can.
yeah,
It's a good dude.
good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Spanx, bro.
I did want to ask you a question though. Is it related to like any other books? Because there was like some references in there that I thought might have related to like another book.
Yeah,
Like-
there's some references in there to The Gate, which is the
Okay.
first novel I wrote, which can't be good.
That's what I thought, because like there was like some references in there that like I didn't understand. I'm like, I don't remember that being a part of the book before. Maybe that's a reference to like something else completely, which I love stuff like that, and I love like making those connections. So I want to kind of actually maybe read that one, even if it's bad. I still want to read it.
I've been teasing a sequel to that to people for like 6 years.
Take your time.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'll get there.
It's all right.
Well, I'm looking this weekend 3 book recommendations in one episode. This is amazing. All right, I read a book. It's a sequel to something I'd read previously, not too long ago, actually. Meathead 2 by our man Stephen Barnard.
Nice.
Now,
Oh lordy.
I dug the shit out of Meathead. Meathead is like, it's a slasher in every crazy way that a slasher could be, and Meathead he's this giant killer in the woods who basically has no meat on his head and wears a sack, and his brother who's a dwarf, and they just go around killing people in the woods. So at the end of Meathead, terrible things happen to the two of them, and you think, oh no, I'll never get another Meathead. But oh no, there's another. This book, as like the first one is really, it's raw, and there are some scenes like, holy crap, I don't think I would have had the balls to write some of the stuff he put in there. Like,
Are you telling me Barnard is writing crazy shit? Get out of here.
Blunt way he was going at it. This one, I told him, I said, this is like a Carlton Mellick book, but with more restraint. But there is some wild shit that goes on in this book. I mean, I had such a ball. There is a scene that, because now it's Meathead. I don't even want to give away what's going on. There's resurrection stuff going on and talking corpses and stuff. But there's a resort, and they're having a Halloween party, and the mayhem that goes in that Halloween party. There is a scene that you will never forget for as long as you live. And I'm sitting in my yard laughing hysterically, and I had to like pull up my phone and like, tweet him right away. I'm like, that was awesome. So, and you'll know it. I never need to tell anyone what the scene is. So I highly suggest Meathead 2. In fact, I thought the writing was even better in this one than the first one. Crisper, leaner, meaner, and if you make me actually laugh out loud, if I had a beer, I would have done a total spit take. So, good job. And
You
I'm
know
not
what?
saying
I missed when this released, so I just bought it on Amazon now.
Did you read Meathead?
I'm buying it.
Yeah,
right
I
now.
read Meathead.
It
was insane. It was because I think he just dropped that without anybody knowing it was coming out, right? The first
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, just put it there.
I think had we known Barnard was writing a book, that is exactly what I would have expected him to write.
I know. Yeah, this one's even crazier. Like,
All right.
it's surreal in some parts, but it oddly makes sense. So good job. Awesome job, actually. So I want Meathead 3 on my desk by Christmas. So get going.
Nice.
Does anyone have anything left?
I do.
Of course you do.
Hey, look, you're probably going to like this one, okay?
Let's go. Let's go.
I read a book called Optical Delusion.
Oh, all you guys just reading each other's stuff. Oh my god.
It's bro jobs all around on Final Guys.
Bro job.
So when these came out, I bought them, but I never got to read them. And then you release so many goddamn books, it just kept getting pushed back. So I finally got to go back. It pisses me off a little bit because I didn't have an idea with 3D glasses or anything, but I always wanted to write a story about something that comes from the back of one of those magazines, like an ad. And then I'm reading this, I'm like, God damn it, now I can't write that. But I thought the writing of this was great, man. There was no fat on it at all. It was just right into it and just insanity. It was quintessential Hunter Shea. And what was it, like 100 pages maybe?
It's a little over 100. I think I wrote it in a week.
Yeah, I read it, I think 2 nights maybe, something like that. And I read slow shit, so I'm looking forward to reading the other two. What are the other two about?
The first one is about these kids who buy like sea monkeys.
Oh, I did read that. They put them in the sewer. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, I did read that one. Okay.
And the other one is it's money back guarantee, where because they used to sell like toy submarines, like you can actually go in your own submarine, and this woman buys it for her son, and he almost drowns in the fucking thing because it's made of cardboard, and he almost takes it in the pool. And then it's her trying to find the manufacturer to make them pay.
All right. Well, it's coming up on my list now because I really enjoyed this. So I think novellas with horror work so well. And for some reason, I almost never buy them, and I never write them because they don't sell for a shit. So, or at least I can't make money on them.
Tim and I would beg to differ with Severed Press. It depends who you go with.
Yeah, it depends. Some of my novellas are like my best-selling stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
I can never make money with them. Just probably because I can't charge enough. But yeah, I don't know. I dig it. I love novellas, and this was perfect. So nicely done.
Awesome. Your glasses are in the mail.
Yeah.
All right. Let's travel to the east behind the Iron Curtain with Sputnik.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Jack, flip your hat around. Can you do the synopsis, Jack,
Sputnik!
in a Russian accent? Maybe?
Nope.
Oh no.
Gorbachev?
Sputnik.
Tear
Nope.
down that wall.
No Russian accents. Cosmot go up, they come back down, they got a thing in them. Monster. The monster comes out when he spits, does stuff to people, and then it goes back in. So they get a hot doctor to come in, check him out. She wants to help him, but everybody else wants to hurt him. But the monster's hurting people, so I don't know who to root for. That's Sputnik.
You know what? That definitely needed the hat turned around for it. That was perfect.
That was beautiful.
That was improv. That was total improv, baby.
That was beautiful.
And scene.
The Cosmots go to space.
Cosmots. They're not astronauts.
Holy shit.
Weren't they micronauts?
They're trained by NASA. These are Russian. Soviets. I don't know what you call them.
Back then?
Trumpian.
Red Menace. That's what we called them back then. It was in 1983. Spent a lot of time in Russian Federation.
It was 1983.
So I remember I saw coming. I think I saw this in Rube magazine or something. I really wanted to see this, and then one of my editors told me it's total garbage. Don't watch it. And I'm like, you know what? It's space and monsters. I want to watch this. So I was glad that we were able to do this tonight. So
Sputnik.
Tim, I want to know what you thought.
Oh, you're gonna make me go first? All right.
I'm desperate to hear this.
All right. So, warning: I had to do a fantasy football draft while I was watching this movie, so which is very hard to pay attention to that because football is going to be weird this year, and that's like a whole thing. Plus, a movie in not my native language with subtitles, so like I had a lot going on. But I did absorb, I think, probably about 90% of this movie. I
don't think so.
No, I did. I totally did. So like, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I'm like kind of right in the middle on this one.
Well, who'd you get for your first pick?
Who did I take in that draft? That's like a weird league. It's like a suicide league. So if you lose the first week, you're out for the rest of the season.
Oh, wow.
With a fantasy football team?
Yeah. Like you're just done. It's a very strange league. I don't even know who I took. I had like the 14th pick. There's like 16 teams in it, which is makes it even crazier. Anyway, don't want to get off. Sputnik, back to the movie. Yeah, I mean, it was like all right. It was kind of art housey, which I wasn't really expecting from like the trailer. I thought it was going to be more of like a sci-fi like horror action flick, but it was kind of light on the horror up until like the third act, when the thing starts kind of going like crazy. But I thought it was interesting. I thought the acting was decent. I thought the creature actually looked kind of cool. I don't know what the budget does anybody know what the budget was on this thing?
It was like $2 million or something like that.
Really? I for $2 million, the creature actually didn't look that bad. I thought they did a pretty good job with the CGI.
It was 400 rubles.
I was gonna say, what are these, like rupees or something?
2.6 million US.
All right.
And it made 22 grand.
How much did it make?
22 grand.
Are you shitting me?
I think it mostly went straight to streaming.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's terrible. I feel bad now. I feel bad criticizing this movie at all. But I, like it was all right. It was worth a watch. I'm not mad that I paid like $6 for it, but I didn't like love it. But the last act of the movie was quite enjoyable, and I think my draft was over by then, so I was paying a little bit more attention. But yeah, I mean, it's not the best Alien movie I've ever seen. Not the worst.
All right, Jason.
I liked it quite a bit. I don't know that I've ever seen a Russian film before, at least none I can think of off the top of my head.
Like I was thinking of that too. I think V is the only one I can think of.
Yeah, I was trying to think of stuff, and
Eastern Promises. I'm just kidding. That was a.
Was that a remake? I didn't know. Yeah, I liked it quite a bit. I thought it was shockingly well made. I mean, when I heard it was Russian, I was thinking, oh Jesus, they're not going to understand like 3-act structure, and it's just going to be a mess. And the CG in particular, like you said, was really good. Like I was surprised the entire time by how good this movie looked. I thought the acting was good because it was Soviet era Russians, I guess. The acting was muted because I think that's what they were going for. Like their emotions were tamped down a little bit, and it was much more of an analytical film, particularly in the first half of like trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And I don't know. I thought all of that kind of worked for me. I don't know if I went in with super low expectations, and that's why I was just kind of like surprised the whole way through, but I liked it.
I had a feeling. All right, Jack.
I liked it a lot.
You did.
Yeah, so go suck it.
Is this just a character that you're doing, or did you really like
No, asshat. I like this movie, and I bet you didn't because you're an idiot.
Hat? Stupid moron.
First of all, I kept expecting this movie to just fall into a predictable alien movie at the end with it turns into like 3 stories high and all this other stuff. and all that stuff. And there was definitely predictable things that happened in it, or they telegraphed a couple of things. However, I did like the direction they went and a couple of the choices that they made. So I was entertained the whole time, and reading subtitles, I didn't get bored. I thought the acting was great. I thought the woman, the doctor, I thought she was really good. And the cosmonaut guy, he really had to put on a show there. So I thought he did a great job. I thought the special effects are great. It's not the best movie of the year, but I really enjoyed it. So I was, I didn't know what to expect. It looked like it was going to be a decent movie, but I turned it off going, yeah, that was good. And it's, we spent $7 to watch it. And I wasn't like throwing stuff at my TV because I just lost precious $7.
I went into this confused because I had I want to watch this, but someone I really respect, their opinion, said it's crap. I'm like, oh God, but I hadn't watched any coming attractions. So I said, so I don't know what I'm getting. In the beginning, I will admit I was disappointed. I'm like, wait a second. So we're not going to be in space? Like, I thought this was going to be in space the entire time.
Yes, so did I.
But I think if they did that, then it turns into the movie Life.
Yep.
So I'm kind of glad that they crash landed. I was super shocked how well made this movie was too. I'm thinking it's like, and by the way, they also poke fun at Russia. Like,
yeah, it's Soviet Union. I was surprised.
Ballsy. I thought the acting was good. The monster, that first reveal of the monster was goopy and gross. And I thought I normally don't like to see that much of the monster, but I thought the CG was so good. I'm like trying to look at it from different angles and everything. Thinking, man, if that went inside me, I think I'd just blow my stomach.
It would go in you a different way, I'm sure.
Oh. It is very art housey. The ending, I can see how that ending pisses people off because there's the ending and then there's the other ending that gets tagged on, and that's not your typical horror, the way you finish a horror movie, but I kind of like that. So I liked it so much. Like a lot of stuff that I've been watching this year, it's been good, but nothing's really grabbed me. This actually grabbed me a little more than the others have. So the point now, it's on the list for my top 13 of the year so far, but we'll see.
Yeah, I would agree. This year has been like there's lots of really good movies, but there's not a whole lot of like all-time greats. Like we're just getting consistently good.
Yep.
But
maybe we're getting spoiled. But I need something that's like, oh crap, I can't wait to watch that again. You know what I mean? And like, I'd watch this when it's free. I'll watch it again.
Yeah, this might be on my top 13 list so far. I'll have to go back and look because I've seen a lot of good movies, but this is close for sure.
I mean, it was solid. It was solid all around.
Yeah, I thought the acting was surprisingly really, really good, especially for like one of you guys said, the actor who had the alien inside him. He had to do a lot of different things, and I thought it came across really good. It was a solid performance.
And
I
had to make you be sympathetic for him, but he was also a jerk.
Yeah,
he's a dick.
Yeah, he's kind of like had a range of different feelings about him, but and
hero.
And the girl did a really good job too, like how she reacted to everything, and I really like the asshole doctor guy who she was like, you just want to win the Nobel Prize or whatever. He was such a douche, but then he kind of came around to be like somebody did a good thing. So I don't know. I
was one dimensional. There were arcs to just about everybody.
Yeah, with the exception of like the villain, which Jack said like they did telegraph like their ulterior motives, I guess, a little bit. But I don't know. It was still good. But yeah, I was surprised like how much, because it wasn't a really long movie, right? It was under 2 hours, but longer than an hour and a half.
It was
somewhere. It's like an hour 50, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they packed a lot in there. I don't know. It was good.
My favorite performance of the night is bad internet robot voice Tim. It has been spot on.
Really?
Yeah, you're having a rough night out there.
It's going to
For
make for
real?
good listening for sure.
Do me a favor. Just say intergalactic, planetary, intergalactic.
For real? Oh man, I'm plugged in, so I shouldn't have any issues. But it's
The Jersey
Comcast.
Devil is screwing with his internet.
Yeah. I do live in the middle of the woods with no real internet, so
Oh,
He lives near where the Howl train broke down.
kind of look Duck Dynasty now.
goddamn.
Yeah, I'm with you when you said at the beginning, I was expecting to be a space movie. And when they were on the ground 5 minutes in, I'm like, what the hell? Like, what is this going to be?
Yeah.
And then I'll save a little bit for spoilers, but I thought the progression of the film, I like I said earlier, I thought the pacing was good. Like you just kind of learn things throughout until the very end when everything kind of comes to a head, which was not what I expected from a Russian film. I expected nonsense and was very pleasantly surprised.
All right, but Jack has the bell out. He's sneaking it behind his microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Jack, you want to ring the spoiler bell?
I think it's time for the spoiler bell because
Steve Bernard.
Barnard thought
Spoiler
Tim
alert.
was Stephen Hawking.
I really love this movie about aliens.
God damn you all.
What I was going to say was I thought there's a part, I don't know, maybe around the third of the movie when you find out that this alien is living inside this dude and comes out of his throat. And they're explaining to her how it shrinks, where it lives, how it survives, the whole thing. It's maybe 30 seconds long of just an explanation of how this works. And I thought that was so perfect because when I saw it come out the first time, I saw how big it was. I'm like, how in the hell?
Oh.
And then they just give you like a 30-second explanation, and that was good enough for me. It wasn't the whole movie slogged down in details. I was like, hey, that was well done.
and they had like an MRI of him with the creature in him, so you could see
Yeah.
how it fit.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
just enough that I could think it was plausible.
Comes out like a slug, and then like the arms break out, and it's like it's wearing like a placenta on it almost. It's so gross.
One of the things I liked about this movie was the symbiotic relationship between the creature and the guy, and that was something that I thought this movie dealt with a little bit better, or at least differently than what we've seen before. So he had a relationship with this thing, but it wasn't venom, and it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the life, as I would call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I liked that whole dynamic. That was kind of cool.
Yeah,
I know. That the special effects, man. Because sometimes when you get something like that, they'll put a lot of care in like the first time you see it, and maybe the last time the stuff in the middle they kind of rush it. That's what Russians do. His name.
I kept waiting for it to get like 30 stories tall at the end.
Well,
or
that's I
something.
kept. But dude, when it would pull itself up to its full height, like sitting up on its tail, and it was like human size at one point. You're like, oh man, God! I jumped when it hit. When she was first looking at it, and it hits the glass at her. I didn't realize there was glass there because they don't make it apparent. And I jumped when that happened.
I thought it didn't have legs at the beginning, or did it the whole time?
It
Because it looked like
itself.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was just like a tail, and then towards the end when the legs started to break off, I was like, wait, did it always have legs? Or was that just it getting stronger like over time?
Say it was evolving or whatever, and so maybe
I saw 5 minutes of the Thing remake the other night, and the CG in that is just so cartoony. And comparing it to this, I'm like, oh, because there's one like a guy's arm breaks off and becomes like a spider in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
That just looks like a cartoon. This was so much better.
Yeah.
By the way, I love this thing, because they find out that they feed it people. That first scene when you see like in that night vision, you can tell it just pulled the guy's head right off.
Yeah, that was great.
Vicious.
You
There's
probably
something-
didn't see that because you were in the 6th round of your drafts, but it was a pretty gory scene.
No, I remember that scene.
Okay.
No, I thought the kills were fantastically done, especially in that last scene at the end. I thought that was fucking glorious. Just I was working through all those guys, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with that. I like stuff like that.
Do you draft a quarterback early, or do you wait kind of in the middle rounds?
Oh, that's who I drafted. Like second, I got Pat Mahomes. So
Jeez, he didn't go first. Like, who wouldn't pick him first?
It's a PPR league, so got to go receivers and running backs, pass catching running backs.
Wow. Yeah, I don't care. I'd still take Pat Mahomes. But anyway. Any other spoilers you guys want to break into?
Well, the whole thing you said about the second ending. So the whole time you think that the kid in the orphanage is the cosmonaut's kid. It turns out it's, what's her name? Tanya. It's her, and it explains why she has such a heart for this guy.
And also why she had that big scar on her spine.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That semi-nude scene. I was like, what is going
Side
on?
boob.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you need.
That was in
why-
the third round.
Yeah, that's why she went so hard on him in the first interrogation about his kid. I was like, oh, she's just trying to get under his skin. Then you find out later, no, she kind of a big deal for her.
No, didn't she hormone levels?
But didn't she kill a kid or something, or save a kid? So that kid,
She
at
dunked
the
the
end,
kid underwater for like a minute.
Yeah,
She saved him.
she
Yeah.
saved him. Was that the kid from the end? Or a different kid?
No.
No, that was just. You know
The kid
what?
from the end was the astronaut who had the alien inside him. That was his.
Oh,
his
that
child.
was his kid. Okay.
That was the
That's what I
backstory.
thought.
Make her desperate. Because once this guy said, "I'll take care of the council for you," because she was going to lose. She would lose. This is Russia, 1983. She wasn't just going to lose like her job there at the institute. Everything she ever aspired for was over.
Yeah.
But she was plucky. She wouldn't admit guilt.
I did like the actual climax of the movie when the guy shoots himself to kill himself in the alien. Because they showed the gun a few times, so you knew something was going to happen with it. But I like the quieter way he went down instead of a big action beat. He did it.
Although there was that point when she's escaping when the whole idea is to find a hospital, and she just stops and pulls him out of the truck.
Yeah. I thought the same thing.
I think it's because she realized she couldn't take him too far away from the monster. I think her goal.
Oh,
was to see
maybe.
if she could
I
get
think so.
back inside of him. That was the only thing that could save him.
That makes sense.
Maybe could have used another line of dialogue there because I was like, what the hell is she doing?
Yeah, well, this is an uninformed decision.
Like the whole plan was to drive away. Why are you stopping?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't look like they were going to find a hospital anywhere soon. They were in the middle of nowhere.
The other thing I liked at the ending that made me laugh though was the people come from Moscow that were coming to do the review or whatever, and they stop like 300 yards away and get out of the car and start walking over. I'm like, what the hell? That's a long walk.
That is true. They were very far away.
They were super far. Like, what are they doing?
It's time to walk. We must get My boss checks my pedometer every day. Me too.
They had to get their steps in or something.
But yeah, that was the only part where I was just like, that doesn't make any sense. But then when I really thought about it after the movie, I'm like, oh, okay. That makes some sense.
No, Hunter, I'm with you. Like this one stuck with me more. Like there's been a lot of good movies, but if I start ranking them up against each other, this is definitely more memorable, and I'll think about it and want to revisit it before some of the other stuff I've seen this year. So I definitely think it's a contender.
This would be good to watch with Life. That would be a good double feature.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Both
actually.
enjoyable in very different ways. Life is the not art house. It's the Hollywood version, and it stays in space.
Yeah. Life was enjoyable too. I quite like that.
I will tell you at the very beginning of this movie, when the two astronauts are in that bubble thing, when they're descending and something hits it and they're spinning out of control, that gave me the sweats. Because I'm just thinking, I'm like, you're just up there in space and something's gone wrong, and you're in this thing that probably barely has any piloting abilities. It just needs to fall. That would be terrifying beyond belief.
Yeah, and it's made by communists, so
good stuff. Hey, they figure shit out. I'll give them credit. They could probably make a rocket ship out of stuff in the kitchen where it would cost us $4 billion.
This movie's definitely not going to be everybody's speed, though. There's definitely we're all seem to be pretty positive on it, some different degrees here, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody else who is a horror fan came back and would didn't like this movie.
No, I wouldn't be surprised either. It's not for everybody.
Well, it has subtitles, so that gets rid of 95% of the audience right away.
Done. Oh, by the way, did you guys ever see the movie Night Watch? That's a Russian movie.
Oh yeah, I have
been
seen that
meaning
movie.
to.
So
They made
good.
a couple of them, didn't they?
It's Night Watch and Day
Yeah,
Watch.
yeah.
Are they good?
I don't remember like anything from it.
I don't either.
I've seen it though because I used to
Remember a
have
lot of CG.
Friend of mine read the books. He loved the books.
and Devil's
Yeah.
Advocate too. So those are two Russian movies that we've
Yeah.
probably all seen.
See if I can find Night Watch. That's what it was called, right? Night Watch?
Yeah.
Night Watch and Day Watch.
Night Watch.
Ah,
I remember not like being in love with Night Watch.
Yeah, me too.
But maybe that's why I don't remember anything.
I remember it got a lot of buzz, and I remember not thinking it was.
Well, I didn't
Oh,
think it
okay.
was as good as the hype, but it was still all right.
So
Not
3
cool.
movies now, 3 Russian films.
There we go. We've seen them all. We're Russian completists. So next week, have we decided what next week is?
the Babysitter sequel comes out this weekend.
Mm.
Just flashed up on Netflix over here, so I was going. Although it doesn't have what's her face.
It doesn't have Samara, but it's got what's the other one?
Bella Thorne.
Bella Thorne.
Oh boy.
She's. Wait a second. She was killed in the first one,
They explain it.
Oh, she's back.
like Steve Barnard does in Meathead 2. Did Barnard write the script? Come on.
So is that we're gonna do Babysitter 2? I mean, it's fine with me.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm down.
I want to do Bad Ben Pandemic, but the
Yes.
damn thing is just not on Amazon yet.
Well, here's the deal. If it pops up on Amazon in this next week, that's the movie. If not,
Fine
then
with
it's
me.
Babysitter.
Did you watch the 2 Bad Ben movies we told you to watch? You got.
I'll watch them though. I'll watch them. I watched at work today. I watched Phantasm 3, 4, and 5. So I have some time at work right now.
She's working pretty hard there, huh?
Yeah. So I might sneak those in tomorrow because it's probably also going to be slow. So
But yeah, going to be super slow because you just got fired for that comment.
they encourage it, so it's all good.
Oh, awesome.
Just remember, 1 and 3. Don't watch 2.
Don't watch 2.
Don't watch 2. You don't need to. Just
I got
1
the
and
time.
3.
And that's where he had the money.
You have to pay to watch 2.
Really?
Bad Ben?
Oh, bad. I thought you were talking about Phantasm.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Phantasm too.
No. Oh no, my bad. Bad Ben.
Yeah.
Bad Ben.
No, you're right there.
1 and 3.
It's all the odd ones.
It really is.
All right, so there we go. Everything you never wanted to hear, brought to you by the Final Guy. And Post Toasty cereal.
In my robotic voice.
Week with him talking to us from beyond the grave. So yeah, next week it's either going to be The Babysitter 2 or Bad Ben Pandemic, which is Bad Ben 8. I think it's 8,
Sure.
something like that. All right, so until then, be kind to animals and have your parents spayed and neutered.
Be kind, rewind.
Bye.
Game over.